Our people are moving smoothly, Sergeant.
We got a good platoon, sir. All the work's paying off.
Where's Lieutenant Miller? He should be here to protect our left flank by now.
Here they come, sir. They're moving out of position, sir. The whole company will be exposed.
All right, Sergeant, let's save what we can. Move the first squad to protect our left flank. On the double.
Aye, sir.
Go, Sergeant up! Sergeant Arnold! Arnold, what's holding us up?
Well, sir, if the aggressors are here, they're probably looking right down our throats.
It's a poor position to be in, sir, without any cover. I'll decide where the aggressors are, Sergeant, if you don't mind. Borgman, did I give you my map? No, sir. Well, then you should have asked for it. Do I have to do everything myself? All right, move out! On the double, move out! Ah, let's go, first squad, move out!
Well, that does it. That cuts Lieutenant Miller's cake right down the middle. His platoon is so bleak, it's fouled up the whole company.
Fall back! Fire! Fall back! Arnold, you did this deliberately.
Sir, you ordered me.
Sergeant Arnold, fall back.
Well, Lieutenant Miller took it pretty bad when he and his wife lost their kid, sir. Well, maybe you'd be better off at a desk job till he gets over it.
Well, maybe. A couple months of administrative work, I'll try and swing it.
3rd platoon, sir.
Rice, over here.
Platoon Sergeant, take over here. We're pulling back along the wire, sir.
Lieutenant, over there, among the theoretical dead and dying, is Lieutenant Miller. He is to report to me immediately. I'm going to relieve him of his command. As of that moment, you are in command of his platoon.
Sir, my own platoon.
Your platoon sergeant will take charge of your men.
Sir, battalion maneuvers are in just 10 days. I spend months working my people into shape for it. If I have to take an inefficient, disorganized group...
You will not take an inefficient, disorganized group into those maneuvers, Lieutenant.
Sir, 10 days just isn't enough time.
Well, in my judgment, it is. And I'll expect you to do it, or you may find yourself up for grabs right behind Lieutenant Miller.
Aye, sir.
You're still at attention. Nobody's gonna be dismissed until you guys stop talking. You men are at attention.
There's normal conduct for these people, Sergeant? Sergeant, I want to see the squad leaders in my office in 5 minutes. Dismiss the platoon.
Aye, aye, sir. All right, first squad, we're waiting on you now.
Oh, look. You NCOs are the heart and guts of a platoon. If there's a morale problem, you should be the first to know why and what to do to correct it. No opinions whatsoever, huh?
It's hard to put your finger on it, sir.
Well, perhaps so, Sergeant, but we are going to put our finger on it, and we are going to straighten it out, and fast. I'll see you men tomorrow. Borgman, I want to talk to you.
Well, anything's better than Lieutenant Miller.
You want to bet? This one looks like a hard nose to me. They weren't much help, were they?
Well, it's going to take them a little time for them to loosen up to a new officer, sir.
Yeah, well, I expect my platoon sergeant to level from the beginning.
Well, sir, the men feel what was expected of them kept changing from day to day. Men need a guideline. The firmer it is, the less it changes, the more they're going to be willing to shape up to it. Take a little time, sir.
We're going to do it in just 10 days. 10 days. That's all.
You're kidding, sir.
Do you see a smile, Sergeant?
Sir, in my honest opinion, there is no way you can shape up the 2nd platoon in that amount of time.
Ma'am, could you tell me where room 108 is, please?
Lieutenant Miller?
That's right.
They checked out this morning. I'm sorry I don't have a forwarding address.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Go away. Hey, no, wait a minute. I need your help. I lost the button.
You lost the button.
No. Embarrassment time, isn't it?
Well, I'm not embarrassed. I haven't done anything wrong.
Oh, you're not helping matters much.
I didn't want to seem forward.
Well, come on, fix it or something.
Well, look, you'll have to raise your arms a little. Careful.
Yeah.
Now, if I can get this thread through here. I missed.
Oh, don't get nervous.
Well, I'm not nervous. You'll have to stop breathing.
Oh.
Reese? Is there anything wrong?
Oh, Arnold, I was trying to repair this, you see. If you'd like to do it yourself.
No, you go right ahead.
Well, honey, if you hadn't taken the key.
I was gone about 2 minutes. I can't trust you to stay out of trouble for 2 minutes.
Mm-mm.
There you go. Just don't move too suddenly.
Oh.
You see, Arnold, she was trying to dive into the...
Don't look so worried, Lieutenant. She's my sister.
Si-
Maurice, Lieutenant Rice.
Lieutenant? You're kidding. Len's always writing home about them. Where are his horns and pitchfork?
Thanks, Loads.
Well, actually, I don't wear them off duty.
Oh, that's good. I'll be back as soon as I get a sweater. Don't go away. Oh. Thanks, Lieutenant.
First chance we've had to see each other for a couple of years. She's staying the week. I thought she'd like this place.
Well, she certainly is
Very pretty, a bit kooky, and very aggressive. If you stay, she might embarrass you.
I'll risk it.
Perhaps I should warn you, Lieutenant. I'm one of a strange new breed, the civilian soldier, or in this case, Marines. I enlisted for one reason, to fulfill my military obligation.
So?
So when I'm on duty, I play the game. When I'm off duty, I revert to being an individual again. I say whatever I think, in any way I want to, whomever I please.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong on that, Sergeant. After all, you're entitled to your own opinion.
Well then, Lieutenant, here's something that's always bugged me. Take you and I, for instance, here in our civvies, without our impressive gold bars or our imposing chevrons. Here, I deeply resent the fact that I am automatically expected to assume an attitude of respect. To address as sir a young man who's probably no more mature than myself, No better educated, no more intelligent, no more destined for high places or...
Well, to be quite frank, I have never regarded myself as a distinguished gray-haired elder. In fact, sometimes it makes me as uncomfortable as it does you. But that's the system.
That's the system. As good old Genghis Khan used to say.
Well, I don't think that comparison holds much water, Sergeant.
For the past 6 months, the 2nd platoon has been under the command of an overbearing neurotic. Now, you want to know what your problem is? That's it. Digging out from under the debris left by one Lieutenant Miller. You might be the kindest, fairest, most reasonable man in the Corps, but you've got a whole platoon of skeptics who think you're probably just an extension of Lieutenant Miller.
And what if I prove differently?
In 10 days?
Why 10 days?
Oh, now don't make the same mistake he did. We're not dumb. We can read the battalion maneuver schedules, and we can pretty well figure out why the captain put you here.
Then why can't the platoon use the same reasoning processes in judging me?
Because there's a brick wall 10 feet high between you and them. Officers and enlisted men are still separated by a military concept that's as archaic as the divine right of kings. Now, you get rid of that wall. You prove that you realize that you're just as human and fallible as the rest of them, and that maybe some of them might have a pertinent question or a good idea once in a while. You do that, and you just might be surprised how fast you could get through to a platoon.
Hey, you two. Here I am, all put together again. Sit. Is he, boring you?
Not a bit.
I've been trying to explain the difference between officers and enlisted men.
Viva la difference.
Oh? Lieutenant Rice, sir. Why don't you tell her the chances of, say, a 2nd lieutenant fraternizing with the sister of one of his sergeants?
Well, the problem seems to be I'm a superior creature.
How fascinating.
Yeah, but you're a peasant. And there's no telling where that could lead, right, Lieutenant? Even intermarriage.
Hey, are you two kidding on the square? You couldn't take me out, even if you wanted to?
Well, your brother is exaggerating just a little.
Prove it.
I will. Here. Tomorrow at 6.
AM or PM?
I like that attitude.
There now, that'll stick to your ribs, unfortunately.
Stan, do you think the men in your platoon like you? I mean as a person.
I never particularly thought about it. Why?
Well, I've been thinking. Don't you feel you could get more out of them with, say, a good personal relationship?
You think you're turning the old charm on that platoon of yours?
Well, Miller went to one extreme. Why can't I counter it by going a little the opposite way?
I think you're going out of your head.
Am I? Well, not long ago, your platoon and mine, dressed in civvies, they were the equal of anyone else. They join up, and because somebody pins a gold bar in somebody else's
Now, just hold it a second. Look, maybe that bar doesn't actually make me something special, but I'm going to do my best to make them believe it does.
I think you could be wrong.
And I think you're headed for trouble. Big trouble.
Marie, button that jacket and get the butts off this deck. Now move! Kegels, one of these days you're gonna learn how to tie down a bunk properly. And I just might be promoted to full colonel.
Pressure. What's with him all of a sudden?
Hey!
Sergeant, I want to talk to these men.
Fall on a lieutenant. Oh!
All right, this is our first day working together. I want you to understand exactly what I expect from you and what you can expect from me. Now, first, I'm going to tell you something you may already know. This platoon is a disgrace to the Corps. I know it, you know it, the entire battalion knows it. It's going to change, and fast. But I'm not going to crack down on anybody, not yet. I'm going to assume that you know as well as I do how a Marine conducts himself, carries himself, and responds to orders. As of now, we're starting out fresh. I'm going to gamble that if I stay off your necks, there's not a man here who won't have the courage to decide for himself. He's got the training, the brains, and the intelligence to be a Marine.
Sir.
Go ahead, Sergeant.
It's a little hard for the men to feel they're starting out fresh, sir, when the whole platoon is still on a one-week restriction to post.
Well, as of now, Sergeant, that restriction is off.
Sir, Lieutenant Miller did not order the restriction. The skipper did.
All right, that's all. Head! Hut! Carry on.
24 hours, and you already have that platoon shaped up to the point that they
Sir.
feel they've earned some special favor, huh? Some gesture of appreciation from their company commander?
Sir.
Price, I would like to ask you just one question. Are you trying to bribe the 2nd platoon?
No, sir, I'm not.
Well, your request has all the earmarks of it.
Captain, I wish you'd let me explain.
I wish you would.
Sir, as the captain was well aware, you've handed me a tough and thankless assignment, sir. This restriction to post is just another chip on the men's shoulders, sir, a problem I can do without right now.
Now, you don't feel this is going to do them more harm than good?
No, sir, I do not.
Well, I don't necessarily agree with you, but it's your problem and your platoon, and you'll sink or swim with your decision. My restriction on the 2nd platoon is rescinded.
Sarge, you're kidding.
Yeah, I kid about everything. You heard me. As of tonight, Liberty cards are back on the board. Great news.
Okay, now, the lieutenant pitched one for us. Now let's pitch one for him.
Right,
let's go.
let's What's going on here, Corporal?
We're waiting to see Lieutenant Rice, sir.
Why?
Well, he told us to, sir. He said if we had any personal problems, you know, anything bothering us, that we should come and talk to him about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is your particular problem, Corporal?
I got a wart on my foot, sir.
Oh, I see. What is your problem, Private?
Well, it's a girl trouble, sir. See, she hasn't written to me in a couple of weeks now, and, well, I just kind of like to talk it over with someone.
Yes, I see. Well, the lieutenant is very understanding.
Sure is, sir.
That's nice.
Rich.
Come here.
Later.
When?
Even better question. Where?
How about my place?
Saturday night in a bachelor apartment? Do nice girls go there?
Well, I can show you a certificate of honorable deportment from, let's say...
30, 40 young ladies.
Well, that would be bragging, wouldn't it?
Plus that much good conduct would make you seem terribly, terribly dull. On the other hand, my brother reports that the men think you're quite unusual. A soul of honesty, fairness, and good judgment.
Agreed. My judgment is flawless.
They say you're quite popular.
I also barbecue a wild steak.
I bet you do.
Tomorrow night?
I'd love to, but I can't. It's my last week in here, and I promised my brother I'd have dinner with him. I can't let him down.
All right.
on the other hand, I could bring him along.
No, I think that maybe you and he...
Now, let me tell you a secret about my brother. With all his fine theories and college degrees, he's just enough of a snob to be delighted that his boss is interested in his sister. And if his sister is a woman, and she is, and his boss is really a boss, and I hope he is, we'll have him fed and tossed out by 9 o'clock.
I think I owe him a steak at that.
Sergeant?
Hey, Lieutenant. I thought we were supposed to learn something about defense today.
Well, I guess we're learning it's in equal parts. Patience and sweat, Private Cagle. Get back to your digging.
Yes, sir.
Sir? Sir, my men are digging at solid rock. Now, couldn't we move about 20 feet further out?
Lavona, you shag back up there and tell those daisy pickers of yours to dig in where they were told. And stop bothering the lieutenant.
Corporal. You see those open fields across that riverbed?
Yes, sir.
Well, I put your squad in position to cover that approach.
I get it, sir.
So you tell the men I'm counting on them.
You bet I will.
First squad's dug in, sir. Defensive positions. Look, sir, the other platoons are getting all the action. Now, couldn't we just punch on up through the riverbed and hit them from the rear?
Sergeant Arnold.
Hold it, Sergeant. It's not a bad idea.
Well, now, I've been thinking it out, sir. We do have permission to scout the area, right?
If I think it's advisable, yes.
Then look, sir. Here's the main element of Harrison's aggressors. Here's Bravo, main element, and the wash. Now, it gets narrow up at that end, but down here where it's wide, it takes a whole platoon to cover it. Harrison's not going to need more than a squad.
I think I see what you're getting at.
Looks good to me.
Me too, sir.
Well, if we can knock out this squad here before they fall back
Right.
on you...
She'll be wide open all the way up.
Let's try it, sir.
Should beat sitting around here all day.
Okay. Sergeant Arnold, you take your squad in deep. You stay concealed until the aggressors get through the main ambush, and fall on them from the rear.
Aye, aye, sir.
Take your positions. You think I made a mistake?
You asking me to cast a vote too, sir?
Knock it off, Sergeant. Open fire! Runner?
Sir.
I want you to get a message to Captain Rambridge. You tell him we've engaged and captured the aggressor force. If he wants to push through, it's wide open.
Yes, sir.
There's not a platoon in the battalion could have done it better. They're really learning, these boys.
Yes, sir. They're learning something, all right.
Well, medium or rare?
Medium rare.
Fine.
Have them on in a minute. Can't rush a fire.
Actually, hibachis aren't very well designed for barbecuing.
Now, what you need precisely is an increased oxygen supply. More vents from below. This would give a hotter fire, which means
Why don't
that-
you try fanning it with a magazine or something?
Highly inefficient, but I'll try.
He has a theory on just about everything.
Well, he's very bright in some areas.
I've never known him to lose an argument.
It's just as I thought. Makes a lot of smoke, but it doesn't help the fire much. So I guess we'll just have to wait. Part of it's the way Bill stacks his charcoal. He gets things going, and then nothing happens.
Yes, I see what you mean.
We'll just have to have patience.
Why don't you and I go out and make sure the fire doesn't go out?
Did Bill explain how we did it to them today? May start an entire new trend in military history.
Oh, here we go again.
You know, I don't think she appreciates the way this system of yours has really worked out.
Cheers to the glorious 2nd Platoon.
Military democracy in action. You know something, Bill? The men in the platoon have really started to dig you.
That's nice.
And do you know why? Because for the first time, they feel someone's asking them to do something rather than just ordering them. They feel a part of things. Things are being explained to them. The old Captain Bligh, Captain Queeg concept is now a thing of the past.
That's a pity.
Women, they just don't understand democracy. I don't think they want to. Well, I'll go check the salad. Did you rub the bowl with garlic buds?
Yes, I rubbed the bowl with garlic buds.
How about starting over again tomorrow night, huh?
Oh, excuse me. I didn't realize there was any...
Larice Arnold, this is Stan Harris, my roommate.
My compliments, Mr. Rice.
Lynn Arnold, this is Stan Harris, my roommate, her brother.
How do you do?
Hi, Stan. How about a burger? We got plenty.
Oh, no, I don't want to butt in.
Don't be silly. You gotta eat. It's no trouble.
Why not? 4 is no more trouble than 3, is it?
Why don't you two get things ready, and Larice and I'll go out and handle the burgers.
Fine. Go ahead and get washed up.
Right.
I got the salad here. We'll get out some ice cubes and chill another bottle of wine.
My brother's a swell guy. I love him, but there are times when I could clobber him. Is it true that officers can't hit enlisted men?
Yep.
Pity.
And to think I could have been out in the field tonight.
Touché.
You going to be with us long, Larice?
No, tomorrow's my last day. I wish I could stay.
You know, Bill's mentioned your name to me a number of times, and I can't figure out where.
Well, he's probably referred to me as Sergeant Arnold.
Sergeant?
Yeah, I'm a squad leader in his platoon.
Oh, I see.
Wait a minute. Is something wrong?
No.
Well, now, I'm just wondering if Lieutenant Harris here is upset at having just eaten with an enlisted man.
Let's drop it, fellas, shall we?
Why? Should I be?
That's very generous of you, sir.
That's out of line, Arnold.
It's a joke, Bill. Relax. Well, it's getting later than I thought. You gonna stay for a while, or do you want me to drive you home?
No, I'd better come along. Yes, you'd like me to do the dishes?
No, there's not much to do. Thanks anyway. We said something about tomorrow.
I'll call you later.
You want some more coffee?
No, I've had it.
Now, look. In my whole life, no one's ever called me a snob. I'll sign a paper admitting that there are countless numbers of enlisted men, many in my own platoon, who are better conversationalists, more intelligent, nicer guys. Look, that guy was out of line, Bill.
Well, he might have been out of line, but you still seemed a little surprised when he identified himself.
Well, actually, I'm a little surprised to think that you're rewriting the book.
Well, maybe I am. But let me tell you, it's working. I have never seen a platoon snap into shape like this one has.
There's got to be a bug in there somewhere. Doesn't there?
All I know is it's working.
I'm in.
Lieutenant Rice reporting as ordered, sir.
How did it go on the range today, Lieutenant?
Very good, sir. We raised the platoon average some 12 points.
That was quite a spectacular stroke yesterday, cleaning out that gorge the way you did.
Yes, sir, thanks to Sergeant Arnold, sir.
Yes, you mentioned that there. So it was Sergeant Arnold who suggested that particular maneuver, huh?
Well, we all felt it was a good idea, sir.
Oh, you all felt it was a good idea, I see. I guess you're pretty pleased with the way the 2nd platoon is progressing, is that right?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, I'm not. Now, yesterday, Sergeant Arnold made a suggestion, and you all thought it was a good idea. So you took a chance. You gambled that Harrison wouldn't push his way through that gorge in company force. Because if he had, he'd have gone right through you.
Yes, sir, but he didn't.
Pretty hard to argue with success, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is.
Well, not for me, Lieutenant, it isn't. That was not a tactically sound maneuver. And just because you pulled it off once does not change that concept one iota.
Sir, it was my decision.
Was it, Lieutenant? Your decision? Or did the entire 2nd platoon help you to decide? Would you still have taken that gamble if you were commanding the 3rd platoon, for instance?
Sir, I don't really know.
Well, I do. The answer is no. Now, there's a peculiar odor coming from your platoon, Lieutenant, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't understand, sir. In what respect?
Your relationship with the men. I am not quite sure whether you're commanding a military unit or a community drive.
Well, that's not quite fair, sir. Look at our record. When I ask the men to do something...
When you what?
When I ask the men to do something, sir...
That's what I thought you said. All right, now let's translate this into combat conditions. Will your system work there? Will you ask these intelligent, logical, reasonable acquaintances of yours to follow you into an attack when their intelligence, logic, and reason tells them that they may not come out of that attack alive? Or perhaps you'll sit them down and have a discussion with them. Tell them why they've been chosen, why this particular hill should be taken, and why that particular parallel should be held. Now, even if you had the time, the chances are 100 to 1 that you have an answer. To men in the field, combat is insanity. Now, whether you're in charge of a platoon or a battalion or a whole regiment, you spend most of your time having the good faith and hope that somebody up above knows what they're doing. And those people up above have the good faith and hope that your men will follow your command instantly and instinctively. All right. I'm going to switch your training schedule. I have a special night field exercise. Now get your people ready.
Aye, aye, sir.
I'm going to give you a taste of all that, Rice. We're going to find out what kind of a platoon you've really built. Maybe you're going to find out what the little ounce of gold on your collar is all about.
Aye, aye, sir.
Training schedule tonight, Sarge?
Going on a moonlight hike. Now you know as much as I do. Let's dress it down.
Second platoon present kind of a shook. Okay, Sergeant, let's move out. Riot! Hey! Sling! Home! Now, when we count cadence, I want it to rattle the windows around here. Column Leo! Hold! Count, cannons! Count!
1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4!
Well, they look pretty good, don't they, sir? Price has them convinced that they're good, all right.
And you don't necessarily agree?
Well, they're going to find themselves playing a different game tonight, Lieutenant. The pressure's on.
Sorry, Lieutenant. This bridge was destroyed by aggressor aircraft.
We'll just go around it.
Well, now, you see, Lieutenant, there was a flash flood. And that dry wash that you see down there is now a raging torrent.
We'll have to detour over a mile. Well, looks like we'll have to double time to stay on schedule, Lieutenant.
Yeah, I would kind of say it looks that way.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving back to where we came at the double time. Let's go!
Did you ever hear of anything crazier in your whole life?
Knock it out back there!
Lieutenant, there are no rations in this trailer, sir. It's empty.
What's going on here, Corporal? There are supposed to be fuel rations in there.
I don't know anything about that, sir. Captain Rampage just told me to drive out and tell you that war is hell, sir.
You're under artillery fire, Lieutenant.
All right, double time, move out!
Oh, come on.
Let's take a break.
Take 5. What are we doing clear up here, sir?
Yeah, I thought that we... Look, I don't have time to explain that. Now listen. From now on, we're in aggressive territory. We're liable to run into anything. To feel our way through here, I want to point out 100 yards.
I'll take the point, sir.
All right, Sergeant. Remember, we don't want to fight. Understood?
Right.
Okay, first squad, on your feet.
Hey, Sarge.
Come on, we're moving out.
Evening, Private. Where can I find Lieutenant Farrell?
On down the road, sir, about a mile.
All right, thank you.
Sergeant Arnold?
Fat's in the fire now, Sergeant. I told him to avoid contact.
Maybe he's trying out a new maneuver, sir. Like the other day.
Well, looks like they have committed themselves.
You certainly have, sir. Take a break.
What happened out there?
Well, we sighted one of their outposts, and I thought that's all it was.
You attacked it.
Well, I figured if we could knock it out, we'd just walk right through. But there was a couple of others that we didn't see.
Well, what's it gonna be, sir?
I don't know, Borgman. If we try to punch our way through, we'll just get bogged down. If we start feeling our way back, well... In any case, there just isn't enough time. What do you think?
At this point, I don't think anything, sir. It's all up to you.
That's right, Sergeant. It's up to me. That hill would be a tough climb with full pack, even in broad daylight, wouldn't it? Sergeant, I want you to call all the NCOs up here. I want to talk to them now.
Aye, aye, sir.
Pass the word. NCOs in the front. Now!
Sir, the men are really starting to complain. We've been going in circles. What's that, sir?
I said that's tough, Corporal.
Yes, sir.
Arnold, Tracy, 1st and 3rd squads will take off their packs. They will go up and over that hill, and they'll come down on the bridge from behind. 2nd squad will start falling back immediately, carrying extra gear.
Bill, this just won't work. The men, they've had it physically. They don't have anything left for this.
They won't be carrying packs, Sergeant.
Hey, what is this, Bill? You're pulling a Lieutenant Miller on us?
Sergeant, hereafter my name is Lieutenant Rice. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
Now you people listen to me carefully. Tell it to your men. I'm only going to say it once. You'll bear 2 things in mind. You are Marines. Our condition here is simulated combat, which means that the test of what we're doing here, it's not that it's fun or exciting or that you agree with it, or even that it makes sense to you. In fact, it's likely to be a miserable evening. We're going to do some things that nobody thinks we're able to do, plus quite a few things that you yourselves don't think you can do. And any man who delays in obeying any order had better be able to back it up with a hospital report proving him physically incapacitated. And I will not, I repeat, I will not accept fatigue as an excuse. And the only response I want to hear from now on is, yes, sir. Sergeant Arnold, you'll set the pace up that hill. And if I have to run over you halfway up, well, you wish I hadn't. Borgman, form up and let's move them out of here. Come on the double, let's go.
Arm in your squad and move! Come on! Let's go! Follow it up! On your squad! Move! Let's go!
Well, that's the last of the coffee.
It's been over 2 hours now. I don't get it.
Well, are you sure they haven't outflanked you, Lieutenant?
Oh, not a chance, sir. The only place they might have squeezed through is the far side of the valley over there. I've got a patrol feeling around. Maybe they've gotten lost. It's happened before out here.
Well, I'm not going to stay up all night on the snipe hunt. Good night, Lieutenant.
Good night.
Now me, just for looks, I'll take a Black Angus over a Holstein any day. Say, have you ever seen a, say, 50 Black Angus spread out on a bright green hillside? Especially on a rainy day.
Aren't you men supposed to be guarding this bridge?
No, sir. Sir, we're dead. Lieutenant Rice's men killed us about 15 minutes ago and blew up the bridge.
Well, I'll be.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
You wouldn't be waiting for the 2nd platoon to report in, would you, sir?
That's why I'm here, yes.
Well, even if they try to hike it, they're blocked by F Company.
Well, unless they detoured over the hogback.
What night? Well, let me see, they're 2 hours late. The first sergeant's giving 10-to-1 odds that they'll have to go out in trucks and get him. And no takers. How about if I buy you a cup of coffee, Captain?
Count, cannon! Count! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! Column left! Halt! Count, cannon! Count! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, all right, wipe the sweat off your face! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4! 1, 2, 3, 4!
Well, what do your men think of you now, Lieutenant?
I don't know, sir.
Think that they have any less respect for you?
I don't think so.
I tell you, one of the hardest lessons that this profession has to teach is the impersonality of command. I know sometimes it makes us appear rather cold and unfeeling and arbitrary. And since we're all human, none of us wants to feel like that. But we can't expect the men to do something because they owe us. Or because we won some sort of popularity contest. Or even because we make sense to them. Because if we do, we're sunk. You can't request obedience, Rice. You can't even bargain for it. It's something that you must command. Incidentally, the company clerk called, said there was a message for you from a Miss, well, Reese Arnold, something about her last night in town.
Oh, yes, sir. It's Sergeant Arnold's sister, sir.
Are you blocking out another problem for yourself, Lieutenant?
No, sir. I have confidence. To put it in the captain's words, there are certain instinctive, instantaneous command responses which... I have the situation under control, sir. Haley. Sergeant Haley.
Skipper just went inside.
Oh, listen, I got a message. You wanted me to give him a hand on something. Any idea what it is?
No idea, sir. Yes, if there was a lieutenant free to drive him, give him a hand. If you're it, sir, I'm supposed to head back.
Okay, thanks, Sergeant.
Well, aren't you people supposed to check on things like that? Well, I don't have to have somebody tell me that there was a mistake made. It's quite obvious there was a mistake made. Of course I'm going to meet the airplane. I'm here now. All right, I'll do what I can, but I expect to hear from you people right away. All right. Oh, hello, Bill. Thanks for coming. I'm not dragging you away from anything, am I?
No, sir, I was just going off duty.
How long, miss?
Oh, it should be landing any minute now. Gate 5.
All right.
Incoming brass, sir?
Is this the Korean boy?
Yes. Here are his papers.
Immigration, customs, all the rest cleared in Honolulu?
That's right.
Thank you.
Captain Rambridge?
Yes.
Lee, this is your new father.
Well, no, that's not exactly the case. You see, there's been some change.
Well, I thought you said you were Captain Rambridge. Raymond Rambridge?
Yes, that's true. However, there's been some mistake. You see, I applied for adoption some time ago, while I was still married. Are these his papers?
Yes.
All right, fine. Come along. It's all right, boy. Come along.
His name is Lee.
Now, everything's going to be taken care of properly. You have nothing to worry about.
That means a lot to him, doesn't it? You don't even know if he speaks English. You haven't asked him how he feels. You don't know if he's upset or nervous or what. Now, I've had him with me all day. I like him, and I'm not going to have him bundled off like a bunch of trade goods.
I think the lady's quite right, sir. Perhaps if you took a moment, sort of got acquainted with the...
Now, you understand what I told you while we were driving here? That we are your friends and that there's nothing to be afraid of, nothing at all.
Come on, let's have a big smile. You're gonna like it here.
Now, you see, these are your new quarters. I hope that you're going to be very comfortable here.
I'm most grateful to be here, sir.
Oh, you are? Well, that's good. Good, you're welcome. Fine, now, we're going to have a nice little talk here. All right, you sit there. Now, we've got to be honest with each other, man to man. You see, what I'm going to say is for your own good. There's been a mistake here. That is to say that this is not a permanent arrangement here. In a few weeks...
I think you're kind of rushing it, Captain.
Well, I think the fact that we met him and brought him here is a sufficient reason...
Sir, this isn't a field problem. Logic isn't necessarily the guide here, sir.
What?
I wish I'd be very
Do you want to go to the bathroom? To the lavatory?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I should have thought of that.
Most beautiful, sir.
What's that?
Well, I think he was surprised to find plumbing inside the house, sir.
Well, you would be, too, if you were there.
He's a fine-looking boy, Captain.
Yes, his health is good. Seems to have all his shots. There's a blank space with the whooping cough. Are you supposed to have a shot for a whooping cough?
I'm not sure, sir. I think so, yes.
Why don't you have the agency check that out?
I will, sir.
Now, Rice, I think there's something you should know about this matter, at least some of the facts. Some time ago, my former wife and I decided upon an adoption. And since I knew about what the war had done in Korea, I thought the idea of an orphan was good. And my wife agreed with me. Well, we applied for adoption, and it was turned down. In the meantime, we were divorced, and I assumed that the application had been dismissed after that.
Sir, I'm not quite sure I understand. Since you are a bachelor, I don't see how you can...
Well, of course, I can't... What I mean is that I failed to notify them of my change in marital status.
I see, sir.
Now, obviously, there was some kind of jumble up in the situation. They checked out a home, and they sent me the child anyway. Rice, if you ever assume a command, the first thing that you've got to do is transfer all of the clerks, get rid of the typewriters in the cabinets, and burn the carbon paper. If there's anything that lends itself to confusion more than paperwork, I don't know what it is.
I'm beginning to see that, sir.
It's not funny. Even the notification was misaddressed. It was sent to Captain Raymond Rambridge, United States Army. Took 2 weeks to get here. I barely got it before the airplane was in the landing pattern. Well, all right, Rice. I ask your help. Make your point.
Sir, I don't know just how to say this. I know that you mean well, and I also know that you're accustomed to living alone, sir. I know you deal with officers and men a great deal, but, sir, as a steward has tried to point out, you...
Yes, an officious, unpleasant female. Well, I took her advice, didn't I? I mean, I know we're supposed to make the child feel welcome, but I also think that I should be honest with him.
Honesty's a fine thing, sir. It's quite necessary. So is a good dose of castor oil now and then. But it has to be given at the right time and the right way, sir. Now, I suggest that what this boy needs most is affection. And believe me, he needs it in great doses, sir. I mean, even if that involves getting down on the floor and rolling around with a boy, it's absolutely necessary. Captain, if I can be of any help to you,
No, thank you. That's very kind of you. I've taken up enough of your day already. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Lee? I'm very happy that you're here. That is to say, we're very happy to have you in America with us.
I am very grateful to be here, sir. I will endeavor to be obedient and have good manners and give you the respect of a father.
Yes, of course. They told you to say that, didn't they? Well, you see, there have been these changes, as I said before, and that is that there were some assumptions made.
Your house is very beautiful. I'm very grateful to be here.
It's not necessary for you to keep on saying that you're great. I'm sorry. Lee, I want to thank you. I think you're very courteous, and I want to compliment you on your manners.
Yes, sir. I'll take care of it right away.
I'm Mrs. Adler, Social Welfare Department.
Oh, yes, ma'am. The captain's expecting you. Come this way, please.
Thank you.
Come in.
Mrs. Adler, sir.
Captain.
Sit down, please.
Thank you. How's the boy?
Well, he seems quite well. I have a woman to sit with him, and she's raised children of her own. She seems quite competent.
As I understand it, you have no interest at all in proceeding with the adoption.
I thought I made it clear to you that I'm a bachelor.
Of course, but that's a status susceptible to change, isn't it? I wanted to be entirely certain of your feelings before I proceeded.
I am not contemplating marriage, Mrs. Adler. I'm not saying he's not a nice boy. He's very brave and quite intelligent.
There's the problem of his fare back to Korea. I wonder if you're able to help us with that.
You don't mean you have to send him back, do you?
I'm afraid that's the only choice, Captain.
Well, I mean, what about the family that was checked out by mistake?
They've received a child. They haven't room for two.
Well, he's a fine, good-looking, well-mannered boy. Now, certainly there must be somebody here that would be attracted to him.
We have problems placing even American children his age. Let's be frank with one another, Captain. Lee is an alien. He's different. If he were a Korean tapestry, I'd have a customer within an hour. But I'm afraid our social common sense hasn't quite caught up with our interior decorating.
Now, you said something about money. I'll be happy to cover any expense for him for a good establishment or a school or whatever.
Well, unfortunately, Lee is here on a 90-day visa pending adoption. Unless proceedings are begun in that time, he has to go back.
Well, you can't just pull the rug out from under him.
I'm sorry, but that's exactly what's going to happen. I don't like it any better than you, but I can't prevent it. And neither can you.
Well, at least I can take advantage of the 90 days and try and find a family.
And every day he stays here, the more he understands what being here means, the more his hopes build. I can't believe that you'd want to do that to the child.
Well, do you think it would be better to send him back there to grow up cold and hungry and filthy? Can you guarantee they'll find room for him there in an orphanage? Most countries aren't as fortunate as us, Mrs. Adler.
In my business, Captain, we learn to face as many cruel facts as you do in yours. He's accustomed to that, conditioned to it. At least now he has some odds of surviving it. But every day you keep him here will lower those odds. I'm sorry, but I can't allow it. If necessary, by this evening, I'll have a court order remanding him to our custody. We'll find some way of putting him on the plane ourselves.
No, that won't be necessary. I'll arrange the passage for him.
Will you let me know what your plans are? We'll prepare the necessary travel papers and notifications.
Yes, of course.
It's too bad you can't go through with the adoption, Captain. You obviously care a great deal for that child.
Are they waiting for a stewardess to escort them aboard, Lieutenant, or what?
Can you move up, will ya? You get second square on that bird. Come on, sir, now move up, move up.
Excuse me, sir. They can't hear me through the chopper noise.
Captain Rambridge?
No, that's him up there, ma'am.
I'm sorry, sir, but Mother said to tell you she can't sit with Lee tonight. I'd keep him, but one of mine seems to be coming down with something. You going up there now? Mother will sit for you tomorrow night for sure.
Hi, son.
Hi.
How do you like our shop?
This is my ward, Lee. This is where I do some of my work. What do you think of it?
Bigger than your house, sir.
Take them off your hands, sir? With 4 of my own, I'll know how to keep them amused. Come on, son.
All right, boy, you better watch me. I got a big curve now coming down there. Hey, hey. Right there, boy. Come on, let him in. All right, a little too much stuff there. Now, come on now.
All right, have Bravo 1 take his platoon out. Have Bravo 2 move his platoon to range 106. Roger out.
Come on,
Watch me, boy, because I got a big curve, you hear me? The long one. It's everything. The winner World Series batting champion.
I'll take him off your hands now, Lieutenant.
Well, he's no trouble, sir.
I'll do it at headquarters, that's all right. Come on.
Now, this is the space bar. You understand? You hit it like this. Okay? Now, if you hit this key, then all of the letters change to capitals, like magic. See? Come in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is the new range schedule. Will you make sure that Lieutenant April and Harris are notified? And also, Sergeant Halick is back. Will you send him in, please?
Yes, sir.
Come in. Sergeant, you said something about having quite a brood of your own at home.
Yes, sir. 4 Indian braves, each one wilder than the other.
Well, I don't want to impose on you. This is kind of a personal request, and I want you to feel free. Be honest.
If it's about losing your babysitter, sir, Ellen and me will be glad to have the boy for the evening.
Well, I'd appreciate it. I have to talk some things over with some friends.
I hope you can fight back. At our place, it's strictly survival of the fittest. Come on.
Bye, Lee.
So Colonel Chance, red mustache and all, turns and yells, "If their mortar fire hits our liquor rations, we'll fix bayonets and charge." Let me see, 15 second pairs, 8, 1 for the jack is 9. Your deal.
You know, I do remember him. It was back in Hawaii. I remember that he got married then. He was about, what, 53? She was a little blonde, very attractive. I remember.
And you couldn't remember his red mustache?
Hey, it's the 3rd time tonight you have mentioned women.
Well, I was just thinking, I mean, here we are, what, 3 bachelors?
Well, you mean we should be out on the town, is that it?
No, it isn't that at all. I was just thinking that, well, suppose an order came down for some reason or other that we all had to get married. What would you do?
Oh, well, I would point out the regulation which clearly states that all required items must be issued by supply. Then I would make sure the supply sergeant was a friend of mine.
No, I mean, just as a kind of mental exercise, who would you pick if you had to?
Oh, boy. That's a very interesting question. Fortunately, hypothetical. Well, at my age, I would be logical. You know, like buying a horse. I would check the age, the condition, the breeding, past performance. Then I would check the good teeth and the coat.
And then you gotta lay it right on the line. It's the only way. You tell her when you say jump, the only approved answer is how high.
Yeah, logic. Cold, clear logic. Like attacking any other military objective. First, you have to marshal your facts. Then you analyze them. Then you move in on the objective.
Tell me, what are these charms for? What are these arms for? Use your imagination, just you, just me. Let's find a cozy spot. I'll tie a lover's knot. Let's find a cozy spot and cuddle and coo.
Hello, Ray.
I'd like to talk to you, Lily. Can we go into your office?
Sure.
Now, I want you to know that I've given this quite a bit of thought. Now, we've known each other for some time, personally. I've been watching you. I like the way you do your business here.
May I sit down, sir?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Quite a bit on my mind lately.
I wouldn't have guessed. As you were saying, you've been watching.
Well, I didn't mean for it to sound exactly like that, no.
Well, you usually say what you mean, Ray. That's one thing I like about you.
Well, what I want you to know is that of all the women that I have known, you're the most intelligent, adult, steadiest. You have the best sense of proportion, sense of humor. Of course, you have the most annoying habit of looking at someone as though you're about to do something wrong, but I think that's mostly bluff. Regardless, I think that you're a very admirable person.
You forgot brave, trustworthy, and thrifty.
Oh, yes, I did. I forgot that.
A steady, common sense type woman that you can level with.
Yes. Well, there is this subject.
That you'd like to explore with me. I know about the boy, Ray.
Oh, you do? I see. Well, then you'll understand that...
That you need a wife. It's perfectly logical.
Exactly, yes.
Correction, Ray. Inexact and illogical. I'm a woman. If you're proposing, I don't want anything to do with logic. You'd have to lie and say I love you, which you wouldn't do because you're too honest. And you're too honorable for a proposition, which leaves us the final possibility. You want me to find you a wife, which I couldn't do, because any advice I'd give you would just seem like a lot of romantic nonsense.
Well, I don't know. I feel very foolish about this whole thing.
Anybody who can fall in love with a kid, Ray. You don't have to apologize. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. If you look like you could use a drink, I'll send one over.
Oh, hello, Rice. I didn't see you there. Incidentally, I wanted to thank you for,
Sir, you remember our stewardess, Miss Jackie Madian?
Would you like to drink here, sir?
No, I think I'll,
Please. I'd appreciate hearing how Lee is doing.
Well, Lee is doing fine. I hope I'm not interrupting anything here.
Oh, not at all. We've been carrying on a running dialogue about the agonies of second lieutenancy. I should say monologue. My contribution's been negligible.
Well, I hadn't realized that we were persecuting you, Rice.
Oh, no, sir. It was just a sympathy bid.
Is it working?
Well, not much. All she's been telling me about tonight is how lucky I am that I didn't serve under Napoleon.
Oh. Well, why is that, Miss Manning?
I was merely reminding him that the hours were longer, the equipment heavier, and the shoes thinner.
Well, I don't think that was Napoleon's fault, except for the hours, perhaps.
Well, anyhow, he was a winner, sir.
Not always.
I meant until Waterloo, sir.
Moscow.
Aspern.
You're right.
Looks like I came in a distant third. There's a town in Colorado named Aspen. I wonder if that had any bearing on the situation.
Squeezed out by your own captain. You know, you'd be finished if that got around.
They're talking history.
Yeah, but that's not what he's thinking.
He was Napoleon's uncle, you know.
By marriage.
That was after Charles's victory at Aspern and his defeat at Wagram.
Do you think they'll break up the Mets?
What was her name?
Maria Louise.
Oh, of course. The daughter of Emperor Francis II.
Very good, very good. Now, following the battle at Wagram, they... Well, it's getting late. I better finish my drink and get on my way.
I'm sorry, Bill. It's just that I'm such a nut on history. Before you go, Lee's visa's up in 90 days, isn't it? He has to go back by then.
Well, I'm not going to allow that.
But being a bachelor, you haven't got...
Well, a bachelor doesn't always remain a bachelor, Miss Manning. Well, thank you for the drink, Bill, and the very pleasant company.
Good evening, Captain.
Good night.
Good night.
In the battalion exercises Wednesday, platoons will be graded upon familiarization and utilization of lightweight weapons. Are there any questions? All right, the smoking lamp is lit. You have a moment, Rice?
Sir?
Being personal. I'm sorry I butted in last night.
You made a big hit, sir.
She's quite a bright girl.
Yes, I've noticed that.
You serious about her? Oh, what I mean is, what are your intentions toward her?
Well, sir, honorable intentions, as they say.
Well, I don't care what the term is, you know what I mean.
No, sir, not particularly, no.
Well, would you mind if I saw her again?
No, sir, I feel I can protect any interest that I might have.
Yes, well, I like that spirit. Shall we get back?
Yes, sir.
Alec did a good job in instructing on those 106s, didn't he?
Yes, sir, I'll pass his comments on to my men.
Well, cuffs right length. Coat hangs properly.
Lee?
Hi.
Hi. Oh, Lee, you look positively handsome. Looks like I'm late.
Well, we were faster than we expected. What do you think? We got him ones in gray and brown, too.
5. What else did you get?
You look pretty fine yourself.
Thank you. Don't you think he'll outgrow 3 suits awfully fast? You know, a boy also needs sport shirts, jackets, slacks, something bright and gay.
Well, we'll get him a blue suit, then. Bright blue one. What else you suggest?
I just told you. Slacks, jackets, sport shirts.
Well, why don't we have some dinner and talk it over? What do you think of that, Lee?
Well, you know, you did ask me to go shopping with you.
Well, we'll buy him some more clothes tomorrow. Are you free at the same time?
Yes. But you sure don't give a girl a chance to say no. Oh, Lee, you stepped on a crack. If you step on a crack, it means that you have very bad luck. Watch. Do like that. Now admit it. Don't you like him in that outfit better?
No. I like boys in suits better.
Well, you're old-fashioned. Are you stubborn, too?
European white fallow deer, Dama Dama, native of Germany and Russia.
The horns. They fight with the horns.
Well, probably not, Lee. I think they're mainly ornamental.
You dope. All horns are used for fighting. They have glorious duels in the hills.
These are plains animals.
When you're 15 and studying zoology, yes. But when you're 10, the textbook is Grimm's fairy tales. You've got a lot to learn.
Well, I tell you, Miss Madian, this may come as a shock to you, but I was a boy once.
No.
Yeah.
I'll bet your birth announcement, Fred. Mr. and Mrs. Rambridge announced the birth of their son, Captain Raymond Rambridge, United States Marine, commanding B Company, 1st Battalion.
Well, I hope Lee doesn't feel that way about me.
No, he respects you. He's found that much out already.
Well, I want more than respect from Lee.
Well, then I think you have to think in terms of a child.
Well, I don't know. When I was his age, I liked adults to talk to me as though I had some sense. I didn't like them, you know, leaning down and patting me on the head saying, well, what a nice little fellow. Jackie, I started seeing you because I wanted to adopt Lee. And because I needed a wife.
I know.
Now, you asked me once to give myself a chance to love him, and it happened. I want to ask you to give me the same chance with you.
Well, unlike Lee, I can't play games.
I'm not asking you to play games.
Are you asking me to marry you?
Yes?
But in the same breath, you're saying you don't love me.
Well, I want to love you very badly.
I think you're fooling yourself, Ray. I think you want the boy very badly.
Jackie, I need your help. I've got to know how much I want you for his sake, and how much I want you for mine.
Leave me alone, Ray. Please leave me alone.
Hey, is that my tie class you're wearing?
Bill, do you have on my shirt or yours?
You saw me iron it last night, remember?
Thanks, old buddy.
My pleasure.
Try a paper clip on your tie. It's considered very in.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'll need it.
Oh, hello.
Is Lieutenant Rice in?
There's a very pretty young lady here to see you.
Well, in that case, don't let her stand there. Let her in.
Good morning, Bill.
Hi, Jackie. Coffee?
No, no thanks.
What's wrong? Oh, come on, who do you need punched in the nose?
I think it's a court-martial offense to punch a captain, isn't it? Ray proposed to me last night. I turned him down. I think I love him.
Well, then the answer's easy, isn't it?
No. I have to find out how he feels. Will you find out for me?
Look, Jackie, come on, a second lieutenant and a company commander, they're not exactly on the same...
Please, can't you just forget that for one day?
Well, they have a funny way of taking it seriously every day.
I thought you were my friend.
Well, I had some plans in that direction. Okay, I'll try and talk to him.
Thanks, Bill.
Rice! Yes, sir.
I understand you're going to be on range 106 at 1400.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Oh, good. Then maybe you can explain to me how you'll fire the 200-yard position while Harris's platoon fires from 500 yards at the same time. Are you planning on them shooting between your men or around them?
I'll reschedule it at once, sir. Captain has a moment, sir?
Exactly one. Go ahead.
It's about Jackie, sir.
All right, go ahead.
I'd like to know if you're serious about her, sir, and just how serious you might be.
Well, I don't think that's any of your damn business.
Well, that's the same question you asked me last week, Captain.
Yes. When did you see him last? All right, I'll be right there. Lee's missing. The only other places we were Franklin's clothing store and the zoo.
And the airport. I'll check them all, sir.
All right, I'll take Arkham down to 3rd and pick you up on the way back.
Right, sir.
Okay.
Nothing on the machine.
Well, we'll wait here if you think there's any point to it.
Might as well let us check out the obvious places. Coffee? There's a machine out back here.
Maybe you'd like some coffee, Captain?
No.
No sign of him at the airport. The guards are going to keep a watch out for him.
I thought it would be better if we had someone there who might recognize him, sir.
Thank you.
Do you have any idea why he ran away?
Well, you said it yesterday, didn't you?
Don't, Ray.
I think I'll have some coffee after all. Excuse me, please.
When we find him, if you still want it, I'll marry you.
Oh?
Well, that's not exactly what I thought you'd say. You see, starting back the very first time at the airport, you kept implying honesty and I kept insisting affection. I'm just beginning to realize there's something to be said for honesty. Maybe not for a 10-year-old boy. I don't suppose Lee realizes how terribly precious honesty is in this world. I don't suppose I did either till I started thinking about us.
Well, honesty can also be used as a camouflage. It can be used just like anything else.
To hide something?
Captain? No, don't get excited over this. It could be anyone, but we better check it out. There's been a boy hit by a car over at 4th and Cougar Street.
That's only a mile from the apartment.
Do you have an age and description on that?
The ambulance call said young, 9 or 10.
Where is he?
Methodist Hospital on Perry Road. We can drive you.
Can you tell me where the emergency ward is, please? It's right this way, sir.
Sorry, you can't go in now. They're checking a patient. Do you have someone in here?
Yes, the boy, the one that was hit on 4th and Cougar Street.
Yes. That's the Alvera boy. Simple fracture left tibia. Other than that, just shaken up. Are you related or just friends?
We're friends, and we're glad that he's doing well, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you contact the Provost Marshal?
Yes, sir. I told my boy I'd been there many times.
How about the back country?
1st and 2nd platoon are checking that out, sir. 3rd Battalion sent out one of theirs.
Anything?
We'll have 2 of our cars cruising the beach tonight, sir. All the back areas are cleared except the heavy growth in Area 19. And there's a platoon bivouacked in there.
All right, thank you.
Sir, I'll go ahead and phone.
I appreciate everything you've done today, Jackie.
I know this isn't the right place or the right time, Ray, but I can't help thinking that in the last 24 hours, each of us proposed to the other, and neither one of us got an answer.
Sir? One of the workers saw a boy on Bravo 19 Road headed west late this afternoon.
Well, where does that lead, here?
It does if he stayed on it, yes.
I called ahead, sir. They're trying to reach a CP by radio right now. Was there a description? It was Lee, sir. There's no doubt about it.
Well, will someone please explain?
That's the artillery impact area, and they're firing tonight.
Sergeant Halig's been trying to reach you, sir.
I thought he was in the impact area.
He left. He called from his home. He'd like you to come right over. He said it was urgent.
just got home a few moments ago myself. I tried to call your apartment, sir. Finally reached Lieutenant's place. They told me he'd headed back for the base. My missus is real upset about this. He's been here since early this afternoon.
I just assumed one of your people dropped him off, Captain, so I included him in.
When you got 4 of your own, you don't hardly notice one more.
We've been kind of taken by him, Captain.
Helen thinks maybe he can teach our 4 Indians some manners.
They're very nice people. They will be very happy there. You think you can arrange it in time?
Well, he'll get a new visa as soon as the adoption papers are filed.
You asked me once how to measure affection. I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Shall I, drive you home?
No, I've got a 5 a.m. flight. Want to call me in about 6 days?
Want to?
Might be dangerous. There'll just be the 2 of us. No complications.
There might be.
My missus is interested to know if he's got his whooping cough shot. She says she doesn't want to go through another 2 weeks of that.
Well, no, but you can promise Mrs. Halick I'll see to it. I'll see you tomorrow, Gunny.
Good night, Halick. Good night, sir.
Now, there are 2 basic movements. The slash and the thrust. You will never, I repeat, you will never purposely disarm yourself by throwing the knife. The chances of this blade being in a piercing position upon reaching the target are 1 in 4. Front center, Corporal. Under combat conditions, that man could have been shot by reflex.
Under combat conditions, Lieutenant, that knife would have been sticking out of your mouth.
Sir, this is Mr. R. Cameron O'Rourke. Captain Ramage will be out pretty soon, and he asked me to tell you that we're to cooperate with Mr. O'Rourke wherever possible. He's the writer, sir.
That's right, Lieutenant. The R. Cameron O'Rourke. I'm collecting some facts and impressions about the Marine Corps for a story, Lieutenant.
Well, I've enjoyed your books and articles, sir. But I think cooperation is a two-way street.
Naturally, Lieutenant.
Mr. O'Rourke, is that your knife?
Oh, no. I snaked it off one of the lads in the back row.
May I have it?
Why, sure. Come and get it.
I'm conducting your classroom.
It's a knife fighting. Consider me Exhibit A. Come on, disarm me. Or haven't you gotten that far yet in the book?
Yes, I've gotten that far in the book, sir.
All right, then. Come on. Show the class how to disarm a knife wielder. First, you take my wrist.
Attention.
Well, I see that you two have already met, huh?
Yes, sir. We've met.
Good. Because Mr. O'Rourke is going to be your constant companion for the next 7 days. Excuse me, Mr. O'Rourke. Rice? Now, this letter is from the Marine Corps Public Information Office in Washington, requesting our cooperation. Are you familiar with his background?
Well, yes, sir. His first bestseller was about World War II.
That's right. It was called Rendezvous with Death, and it was probably the best fictional account of Marine Corps action to come out of the war.
He also writes a column, is that true?
That's right. It's syndicated in 176 top newspapers, and he reaches a lot of people. Now, your schedule best approximates what he wants to see, so you're it.
Jenny Marine, worth his drill instructor, will have her honed for shaving inside of a week. Use sandstones all around the ground here.
All right, now, this article is going to be about the new Marine Corps. Now, he's kind of an odd duck, Rice. I mean, he leads safaris, and he climbs mountains and gets around quite a bit. So all you have to do is answer him factually, and don't show off for him, and don't try to sell him.
What if he throws another knife at me, sir?
Well, naturally, your first consideration is your personal safety and your schedule. On the other hand, we want you to get along with him now. There's nothing in the manual about this. You're going to have to play it by ear.
Anytime you're ready, Lieutenant.
Well, glad to have you aboard, O'Rourke.
Kind of a short command you got here, Lieutenant.
Oh, yes, sir. The rest of the platoon are out requalifying on the rifle range. We're moving out to range 105 under forced march conditions. If you like, I can arrange for transportation for you.
Well, I'll try to keep up with you. If I get to feeling faint, I've got my heart pills.
Get this hand out of here. Elbow under.
5.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 42, 43, 44, 5, 6, 7, 48, 49, 50.
You're in good shape. Oh, mere bag of tools, lads. I do 100 of them every morning.
If you intend to stay with us, Mr. O'Rourke, isn't that a waste of energy you might need later on?
Keeping in shape is never a waste of energy, Lieutenant. You know, you can let yourself go in this peacetime corps. I can't. This is a vacation compared with some of the assignments I have to cover.
What's so dangerous about riding?
Well, not many people do exciting things anymore. And if I'm going to write that kind of a story, I got to do the things myself.
The things you learned in the Corps came in handy then, huh?
The Corps that taught me was a lot different from this one. You'd have kept up that double time another 15 minutes. You could have shown these kids what the Corps should really be like. What it was like when I was...
It's not the way we do it now, sir.
What's the matter? You afraid some of your children will complain to their congressman?
A forced march isn't of much value, Mr. O'Rourke, if your people end up too exhausted to function.
Is that so? Well, I'd hate to have to write that the Corps is getting soft.
You wouldn't be accurate if you did. James.
Yes, sir.
When they're finished here, take 2 men, collect the empty brass, and place up the area.
Aye, sir.
How do you like the sea rations, Mr. O'Rourke?
The old sea's stuck to a man's guts. You might as well pass out candy bars as these things.
Well, actually, these new ones test out pretty high in caloric content and nutritive value.
You know, that's the trouble with the Corps nowadays. Everything's learned from a book. You know what we used the book for in Okinawa?
Well, the book is a list of every mistake a fighting group ever made and how not to make them again. Best thing we have until there's another Okinawa.
You're wanted on the field phone, sir.
All right.
Your lieutenant's a pretty bright fella, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Does he foul up often?
No, sir.
Well, I'll say one thing for him.
Oh, what's that, sir?
He's got you pretty well rehearsed.
Oh, there is no call, sir. I just thought it was the best way to talk to you privately.
What is it, Sergeant?
I've been watching this O'Rourke, listening, and, well, sir, I just think there's something you ought to be aware of.
Well?
Well, sir, more and more he seems interested in you, watching you, asking questions about you. I hope this is not of line, Lieutenant, but I really think you ought to play it careful. I was watching his face every time you walk by. He's almost like a man sighting down a barrel.
Okay, thanks, Sergeant. Better fall in. We have a big afternoon left.
Yes, sir.
Hold it down, James.
The shorter the burst, the less they'll drift off, James. Same problem here, Gans.
Well, it's hard to relax and still not relax at the same time, sir.
Lieutenant, the boy's confused. Here, pull the butt in more, will you, boy, and get your left
Well,
hand
if you
grip
don't
up around
mind, Mr. O'Rourke. The Marine Corps has developed both the position and grip.
Well, maybe you better show him the proper way, then. Let me get a picture of it from our article.
All right, Gans. All right, take your picture.
Are you sure that's the way you want it?
Positive.
Look, let's test both ways, huh? Some distance here. How about that tin can out there? Is that too far for you?
Well, actually, you win the honors, Mr. O'Rourke, considering the fact you're firing an unfamiliar weapon.
Is that what the Corps is teaching nowadays, sportsmanship? There are only 2 scores with a rifle, win or lose, alive or dead. Remember that.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Now, look, O'Rourke, I've had you all day. This is a private billet. I'm on my own time here.
You know, I've been appointed looking up your roommate, Harris. And since he was on temporary duty at El Toro, why, he offered me his bed and your hospitality. I told him you and I were friends. Well, it's true, isn't it? I mean, after all, you and I got a lot in common, even if you don't know it yet. You know, Lieutenant, my article will reveal the Marine Corps in depth, on and off duty. And, you wouldn't want me guessing now, would you? I mean, after all, you and I both love the Corps, don't we? Huh? We want it accurate. Old Semper Fi. Let's drink to that. '95, '96, '97, '98, '99, 100. Oh, it's 6 o'clock. The Corps keep banker's hours nowadays?
Mr. O'Rourke, I don't have to be at the base until 8 o'clock.
Were you reading this last night?
Your book? It's pretty good.
It's very good. But it's not the book you go by. This book will tell you how tough it is to win. Why you shouldn't have been in there in the first place. This book will really give you an idea what war is like. The wounded screaming and the shells hitting, the people shooting at you. You may be getting hit a couple of times. Imagine you and all this with your book.
the reason I read it was to try and figure you out. You know, most World War II books are autobiographical. Who were you? The sergeant? The one who carried the lieutenant out of the foxhole during all that mortar shelling?
Why the sergeant?
Because he's a hero.
Keep guessing.
Yeah. Yes, sir, Captain Rambridge. 0800. I'll report directly to you, sir.
That's good. I can drop you off. I got breakfast with Major Winthrop.
A month ago, the Public Information Office cleared O'Rourke to do an article. All courtesies were extended.
Oh, yes, sir. You showed me the letter.
This is a story synopsis entitled The Marine Corps 20 Years Later. It was handed in to PIO yesterday. In it, O'Rourke promises to expose, quote, the pink-cheeked college leadership and coddling of trainees, unquote, fostered by the Corps today. His premise is that we've degenerated to dependence on new weapons and exotic techniques, and do not demand the courage, devotion, and stamina that made the Corps what it once was.
Well, you're saying, sir, that he's decided the facts before he gets them.
You can find facts to support any premise. Now, we do have college leadership. We think it's good, he insists it's bad. We do have new weapons, and we have built techniques on them.
The problem is O'Rourke himself. About 7 or 8 years ago, his novel stopped coming. I don't know what his problem is. Your guess is as good as mine.
Anyway, lately, he's become more and more destructive and savage. One of his critics suggests that it's because of his own insecurity. When a man doubts himself, he decides if he can't be applauded, he can at least be feared.
Sir, I don't quite understand why he's taking off against the Corps. He was a Marine, apparently a good one.
Well, that ties right in, doesn't it? He knows something about the subject. Therefore, he'll appear more authoritative.
And maybe in his own mind it punishes the Corps. I don't know, perhaps for changing over the years and becoming something unfamiliar to him.
Well, in view of all of this, sir, are we or are we not cooperating any longer?
Well, of course we are. He's contracted to write it. He's gotten it in advance. Now, he's going to do it whether we help him or not.
We have nothing to lose by seeing he gets the facts. And we could stand to gain if we can reach the man.
Well, if the idea is for me to continue to work with him, sir...
Well, shifting him into another platoon would simply give him more ammunition.
You'd become the weak link that we had to hide. The same if we sent a PIO officer along to talk for you.
Sir, I'm trying to explain that we have a definite personality conflict. Now, I'm respectfully requesting to be relieved of this assignment, sir.
Denied.
My Blue Fire team started drifting over to port. And just about the time they're 25 yards apart, Rambridge drives up.
What happened? I don't think I want to hear that.
Well, all I can say is that after that crocodile takes a snap at you, your uniform doesn't fit.
Dad! Want to trade assignments?
I want you to meet what in some future war the enemy is going to have for breakfast. Rice.
Hello, Bill.
Hi. Let me give you a hand with that.
Thank you.
Sit down. Oh, Mr. O'Rourke, I would like you to meet Lieutenant Ames and Lieutenant Johnson.
I've read most of your books, Mr. O'Rourke.
Most of them.
Oh, sorry, I'll read the rest.
We'll see that you do.
I expected you last night.
Well, I was tied up. How about a drink, and maybe we can have a little steak later, huh?
Want to play darts?
Well, now, just a minute, my friend. When I bring a lady in here,
You walked me in from the parking lot. I don't care if he's William Shakespeare.
well, come on, let's have some drinks. Get the show. Bartender? Waiter? Waiter? Ooh.
Bill? Sheila?
Lily, a couple Navy grogs, please.
Okay.
Well, you bring them what they want, honey, and I'll take you.
I think you better order something you can handle.
Oh, all right. You just bring me a bottle of whiskey, and you set her right there. And then everybody stand back. Boy sure gets around, doesn't he? Yeah, Bill does all right. Lots of free time, the good life. I'm making a note of it. What kind of music? Can't we get something that jumps?
Mr. O'Rourke, music stopped jumping in the 40s.
Oh, now you're talking, my good friend. Hey, man, that ice will knock the enamel off your teeth. Boy, there's only one way to drink. That way it runs down the side of your throat. You see, it doesn't touch the soft palate and give you that. Any good Marine can put away 2 quarts a night drinking that way.
Well, I don't know what kind of a Marine he'd be the next day.
Well, I don't know about the new crop. Me, I'd be fine. Come on, baby. Let's show 'em how to cut a rug, huh? What's the matter? I'm too fast for you? Well, now, that lady at the jukebox, she probably knows more about my style of dancing. How about you and me, honey?
Dad, you're carrying a package that ought to go parcel post. How about a cup of coffee?
Coffee? What happened to booze?
You did. And I don't think it'll ever recover. How about a nice walk in the fresh air?
Oh, with you, baby? Yeah. Lead me to the singing sands.
You're 86th. Get out.
Ah, come on, let's dance.
Bill, your friend.
Come on, O'Rourke, let's go, huh?
You think you got it made. You know my girl. You got a commission. You got a command. And you're young. Well, you're a young jerk, and you haven't earned half of it. Being young is more than just being young. When I was your age, I was twice as tough as you are.
Yeah, you were, They just don't make people like that anymore. Come on, let's go.
I'm younger than anybody in this joint! And I'm a better man! And I'm a better fighter! And I'm a better Marine than anybody, especially you, Lieutenant William T. Rice! You got no right to be that young. You didn't earn it.
Let's get him out of here.
Come on, Dad. I work in depth. You understand? The O'Rourke method. I narrow the story down. See it through one certain individual. I'm gonna mount somebody on a slide. And I'm gonna make you wish you hadn't done it to me. I'm gonna cut you open right down the middle. I'm gonna open you up to 30 million people, Rice. I'm gonna make you famous!
Carry on. Feeling better this morning?
Oh, get lost.
All right, fall out. Come on, let's move.
Fall out quietly, will you?
You can drop by the dispensary if you'd like.
Lieutenant, nobody takes care of me. I have passed out in hashish joints from Port Said to Aden to Singapore, and I always got home by myself. Now, I'm not your responsibility. Now, from now on, you function, and you let me function.
We missed you, Gunny.
No, thanks.
Good leave.
Saw my new son?
I bet he's a great-looking youngster.
Actually, babies all look alike.
Just like Winston Churchill.
This one looks more like Calvin Coolidge.
Did you know O'Rourke?
I served with him.
What kind was he?
A loner.
Read his book?
Yes, sir.
According to the book, Sergeant O'Rourke was quite a guy.
We had a sergeant that was quite a guy. O'Rourke was our lieutenant.
Lieutenant? You carried him out of that shell hole.
No, O'Rourke fought his war, we fought ours. Fortunately, we both won.
Well, nice to have you back, Connie. Now, men, you've all run this infiltration course during your ITR training. Just remember that's live ammo passing over your heads. Anything you stick up might get hit. As far as you're concerned, this is a hot war. This is as close as you'll come to being shot at without having to shoot back. All right. Buckle those straps, check your equipment.
They're supposed to try to miss you, but with these clowns shooting at you, you better keep your nose in the dirt and any other part of your anatomy.
Knock it out back there! Mr. O'Rourke? May I have a word with you, sir?
Why, certainly, Lieutenant.
Now, look. I don't care what you do with me in your article. But when I'm addressing the men, knock off your comments, okay?
Oh, come on, Lieutenant. I was just kidding with the troops.
Did you kid with your troops, Lieutenant O'Rourke?
Which fire team do I travel with?
None. You're gonna stay here at the command post.
What do you mean?
I mean, I'm not exposing a civilian to live ammo.
A civilian? I have had more lead aimed at me than you'll have fired over your head in a lifetime. Now I'm going out there.
Do I have to put you under guard?
Okay, Lieutenant. But just remember, you're under eyes out there. I can see every one of your mistakes from here.
All right, let's move out of here. All right, hurry it up. All right, let's move down. Stay low in here. Come on, I said, keep your heads down. Keep your heads down there. All right, spread it out here. Spread it out.
Hey, guard, the lieutenant says I should borrow your rifle and your helmet here.
Sir, he didn't tell me that.
Well, you don't expect me to go out there without a helmet, do you? I'll get dirt in my hair. Come on, they're moving out.
Here you are, sir.
Keep your head down there.
You're moving like a snail with a sore foot.
What, sir?
Come on. I got $5 of the range guard. You and I'll be home 50 feet ahead of the lieutenant.
Hey, Gans! You get your hands down!
I can't, sir.
Hit the dirt, Gans!
weapons. Secure the area.
O'Rourke, you can sacrifice my reputation for your lousy buck, but you don't lay my men's lives on the line to show off. You violated privilege, undermined authority, lied, interfered, and exposed Marine Corps personnel to jeopardy. Now, I don't know what legal actions we have against you, but if we do, I'm requesting taking them. And I'm ordering you back to headquarters until further notice.
You care to escort me off personally?
Gans? Escort this man back to the Jeep and see that he returns to headquarters immediately.
Gladly, sir. Move out, sir.
Well, I guess I tore it up this time.
Sir, you ripped it to shreds.
All right, Sergeant, fall the men in. We've got about 3 hours of daylight left. Let's get some time in. Take them up through Barcelona Canyon and over the hump.
You won't be along, sir?
No, I'll catch up later. Since I've blown a priority assignment, I ought to let the front office know about it. They might want to rebuild a few bridges.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir.
All right, put out your smokes. On your feet.
Bravo Company, please. Yeah, this is Lieutenant Rice. Is Captain Rambridge there? He's not? You try and locate him for me. It's urgent. Yeah, I'll hold on. I'm on a field phone. Hello? Hello in there.
Hello.
Miss Corporal Gans.
He thinks I'm on my way back to headquarters.
Did you hurt that man?
I saved that for you. You ready to get rid of the old man?
I'm not gonna tangle with you.
You have a choice.
You're an assignment. I can't fight you. What'll it prove?
I got something to prove. I'm gonna beat you into the ground, kid. If you don't want to defend yourself, that's your prerogative.
Come on, O'Rourke. Wake up. You're not dead.
You handled yourself pretty good, Lieutenant. Well, let's get out of here.
I can't walk. I hurt my leg.
You can't walk? Well, how about that?
You want some more, O'Rourke? This time it will be for laughs.
No. You called me. And you took me. Oh. How are you gonna escort me back to headquarters?
You know I can't walk.
I pity poor you.
Look, on your way in, have them send somebody out looking for me.
We covered quite a bit of ground, Lieutenant. You think they're gonna find you?
Do you think leaving me out here will cover up the fact that a pink-cheeked college boy lieutenant kicked the daylights out of a big-time war hero? How's the roughest, toughest big game hunter alive going to write about a wishy-washy Marine Corps when one of its members clobbered him by the book? You got a gait like a mule.
You got a hip bone like a spear.
Hey, forget it. You're not gonna make it.
I'll make it. It always embarrasses me not to do what I set out to do.
What about the people you step on in the process?
Let them be embarrassed in their own time. Why don't you shut up?
What's the matter? You running out of breath?
What'd our pal tell you about me?
Nothing?
Don't give me that. He was a BAR man, my platoon in the Pacific. I suppose he told you I'd have died if that sergeant hadn't pulled me out of that shell hole.
He didn't say a thing.
Did he tell you I scream like a banshee when I'm hit?
No.
Well, it's true. Yeah, it gets pretty tiring. Sometimes I don't like...
Canada. O'Rourke, how come you pressured Gans until he almost killed himself?
Under hazardous conditions. Some men choke up, others open out. I was just testing them.
You're a liar. You were testing yourself.
Well, it's been a long time.
What's the matter with you, anyway?
Nothing. I am splendid.
There's got to be something wrong with a guy who can't feel alive unless he's looking down the muzzle of a gun.
Look, if you know what to expect tomorrow, living, it's a waste of time.
O'Rourke, you keep doing what you're doing. Keep sticking your neck out. Keep putting your head in the lion's mouth, and one of these days, you'll have enough courage to admit to yourself you're no better than the next guy.
You know, if I didn't have that hangover, I could have taken you. Come on.
Hey, always have to win, huh?
It beats losing.
Giving up?
I never give up. Just taking a break.
You're getting too old for this sort of thing.
I'm better than I ever was.
You know, I think you wanted to compete with me because you're afraid to compete with a man with as much experience as you have.
I'm afraid of nothing.
You're afraid of getting old. See you in camp.
No, you don't.
just caught a glimpse of your platoon up ahead. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles on the land and on the sea. We got caught in a landslide here a little ways back. Your lieutenant needs some medical attention.
Foreman! Private James.
Yes, sir.
I want you to escort Mr. O'Rourke back to headquarters.
Well, it's not exactly a paean of unbridled praise, but at least it's honest. He didn't throw us any curves. Well, after you sent him back to headquarters, I thought we had it. How'd you get through to him?
The hard way, sir.
You had a fight with him?
It's more like he had a fight with me. The ageless, tireless, immortal R. Cameron O'Rourke. He had to be the best. After he lost the fight, and during the brief moments before he found out my leg was hurt, I have never seen a man so completely destroyed.
So as long as he was able to carry you out, he had redeemed himself in his own eyes.
After we started, I began to worry. What if he failed there, too? So through comments of my own, I kept him mad enough to go on when I felt him weakening.
Could you have walked out any time on your own, Lieutenant?
I think so, sir.
All right, dismissed.
Yes, sir.
Take grenades! Pull pin! Twist and pull! Prepare to throw! Throw grenades! Hit the deck! All right, clear the pits. Come on, move out! Move out, fast, get out of here! Next relay!
Give me a hand with those empty boxes, Gunny. Right on.
prepare your grenades.
Hey, come on, it's freezing out here.
Get that fire going, will you?
This junk will never put out any heat. Hey, wait a minute. I just got it. There, that ought to do it.
Be a laugh if there was a grenade in one of them boxes.
Hey, what do you think going with that box? You're not gonna burn that, are you? It hasn't been checked yet. You men, get out of there! Clear the area! Hit the deck!
I can't see. Oh, God, I'm blind. I'm blind. I'm blind.
Come on! Come on!
Mr. Coolidge.
You're the escort?
Yeah.
How do you do, glad to see you. Quite a homecoming, isn't it?
Hey, you guys want to give us a hand here?
Sure thing.
Coolidge? Thank you, Joe.
Are the Hammonds here?
No, they are expecting you, though, out at the farm.
How are they?
As well as could be expected. Have you ever been in Clary before?
Yes, sir. I was born and raised here.
I thought you looked familiar.
His name's Bill Rice.
That'd make you Ben Rice's boy.
That's right.
Give my regards to your dad, will you?
I will.
Good man, Ben.
Well, thank you, sir.
Little on the contrary side, of course, but they all come around to me sooner or later, don't they? I hope I don't have to take delivery of you like this. Go on, Bill.
Bill Rice?
Maggie,
Shay. I was waiting for a friend who didn't come in. I thought I recognized you. You knew my brother, Tom Shay.
Oh, yeah, I lived on Hamilton Street. I remember now. I used to drop by and toss the ball around.
I remember you dropped by once when he wasn't home.
I was, what, 15, 16, maybe? I guess I was kind of a silly kid.
I didn't think so.
How is Tom?
Oh, he lives in Evanston now. He sells insurance. See you again? I live at the old Tizer place.
Sure. I'll, give you a buzz. Nice to see you. Abby? 314 Cedar Drive?
That's 50 cents worth.
All right. I'd like you to take Ellsworth to Taft Boulevard, then go north past the library and the park to 4th Street. Turn right on 4th, go past the high school to Cedar, please.
That way will be $1 worth.
That'll be fine.
It's your money, soldier.
When I was 15, a bunch of us kids went out one night, filled the general's horse with water, and we drilled a hole and it drained all next day.
I remember that.
You do, huh?
You home on leave or what?
I wish I were on leave. Unfortunately, I'm on duty.
How's that?
Oh, a Marine from Barnsall was killed in a training accident at Camp Pendleton.
Yeah. The newspapers stirred up quite a ruckus about it. Big editorial on the front page. All about what a waste it was and how training people to fight and kill is wrong in the first place. You know, all that pacifist rigmarole.
Yeah.
Had some people calling the editor a Red for a while. Ben Rice is always trying to get people riled up about something or other. It's just his way.
Right there, that's the house.
Say, isn't this his place? Ben Rice's?
That's right. Hello. Ben Rice home?
Yes, he is.
I'm his son, Bill Rice.
Come in.
Thank you.
Your father's in the study.
Thank you. Lieutenant Rice reporting, sir.
Well, at ease, soldier. Oh, what do you want to do, salute?
Can't you even shake hands with your own father?
How are you, Dad?
How do I look?
You look fine.
Yeah, I look terrible.
All right, you look terrible.
Well, you don't look so good yourself, you know. Who's your tailor?
Hey, shall we just not get started on that, okay?
Well, anyway, it's good to see you. Welcome home.
Thank you.
How long are you gonna stay?
Well, not long, I'm afraid. 2 or 3 days, maybe.
Well, I suppose there are more exotic places to spend one's leave.
Not on leave.
What then? A coup d'etat? Have the Marines declared war on Indiana? Or are you just back here to drag some disenchanted recruit back to Camp Pendleton?
No, it's just the reverse. I brought one home. Private Roland Hammond. You should be familiar with it. You wrote an editorial about it.
Have you seen his parents yet?
Not yet.
Well, I can't say I envy you the job.
Well, you haven't made it easier on me. Not from what I heard about your editorial.
Well, it isn't my function in life to make your job easier for you. Quite the contrary. Insofar as you represent the military establishment, it's my job to make things just as difficult for you as possible.
Look, Dad.
You're no stranger to my feelings. You were well aware of them before you went off to Annapolis. And 5 years hasn't changed them. Bill, even if I had known that you'd be the one bringing Hammond back, I still would have had to write that editorial. I simply used his death to dramatize a point, to reduce my arguments to a common personal denominator. He was just a convenient symbol.
A symbol? Is that what it is to you, a symbol? Well, how would you like to go out to that Hammond farm tomorrow and offer them a symbol in return for their boy's life, huh?
What are you going to offer them for it?
Lieutenant Rice,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Roland's mother. Come in, won't you?
Thank you.
Shame we couldn't give you better weather. But the rain will be good for the beans. It's been so awfully dry lately. Well, sit down, Lieutenant. Just make yourself right at home. We're not very formal out this way.
Thank you.
No, not there. Sit over there. This is Joe's favorite chair. It's where he sits to read his newspaper in the evenings. That's my husband, Roland's father. He's out in the fields now, but he'll be along pretty soon. There now, isn't that better?
That's fine, thank you.
Well, you just make yourself comfortable. I'll be right back. I have a pot of tea on the stove, and I baked some cookies for you. I hope you like oatmeal cookies.
They'll be fine, thank you.
Oh, that was taken the day Roland graduated from high school. He looked so handsome in his blue suit. We had a time getting him into it, though. He was so embarrassed that he thought it made him look like an ad for the YMCA. He's always saying things like that, Roland was. Oh. 1 teaspoon or 2, Lieutenant?
1 teaspoon will be fine.
I remember one day one of his friends came over. I think it was a Foley boy. And he started to eat some old stale cookies that I'd baked a few days before, and I said to him, "Oh, don't eat those. I was going to throw those out. Let me make you some fresh ones." And Roland said, "Well, let him eat them, and then we can throw him out." There you are. And you just help yourself to the cookies.
Thank you.
Well, there now. Tell me about my son.
Well, he was on the grenade range with his platoon, and...
No, I know all about that. Tell me about Roland.
I'm afraid I didn't know your son, Mrs. Hammond. He was in another regiment.
Oh.
I brought some of his things. Personal effects.
Yes. His things. Thank you. Roland always had a lot of things. Funny the things you save. Oh.
You're the one brought Roland back?
Yes, sir.
This is Lieutenant Rice, dear. Lieutenant Rice is my husband.
How do you do, Mr. Hammond?
Yeah, any relation to the Rice runs the paper down at Clary?
Yes, sir. He's my father.
Oh, ain't that one for you? Him writing all that stuff about the military, about how our boy died with no good reason. Military killed him for nothing, all the time his own kid a Marine.
Please, Joe.
He must be real proud of you, Lieutenant.
With all due respect, sir, I didn't come here in a personal capacity. I'm here as a representative of the United States Marine Corps.
Aid and comfort, ain't that what you're here for? Bring aid and comfort to the grieving parents? Is that right?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Well, it'll be a big comfort to me. You give me one good reason our boy had to die.
Leave him be, Joe.
I mean, I don't hold with half of what your father says, but I'd like somebody to make it clear to me why he's wrong.
Joe, leave him be. He's just a boy himself.
Oh, I thought he was an officer and a gentleman. Well, boy, it don't seem we're about to get much comfort. What about the aid?
Sir?
What aid are you going to give us? I mean, there are certain benefits, ain't there? Things we get in trade for our boy? Well, ain't there?
Yes, sir, there are benefits.
Well, what are they? Oh, come on, I want to know what the Marine Corps figures our boy's life is worth to them.
Well, sir, there's a death gratuity.
Gratuity, that's something you leave under your plate in a restaurant. Like a tip or something.
Sir, a death gratuity is 6 months' pay and allowances. The exact sum, of course, depends upon the rank of the deceased at the time of death. But in any case, it will be no less than $800, no more than $3,000. Well, there's his insurance, of course.
Go on.
Then there's the burial allowance. The amount allowable is up to $200.
Go on.
Well, then there's the headstone allowance and an American flag to be presented to both of you at the time of burial.
That all?
Well, I will be available to you for such help and/or assistance you might require in the matters of funeral arrangements and burial.
Well, that's a comfort.
I assume, sir, you want your son to be buried in the cemetery at Clary.
That's right. But I also want a full military funeral. I want flags, swords, and I want a honor guard, firing squad. And I want a bugler blowing taps. I want the whole works.
Well, way out here, that may be a little difficult to arrange, sir.
Well, that's your problem, boy. The Marine Corps killed him. By heaven, they're gonna bury him. They're gonna bury him right.
I'll do the best I can. I'll be in touch with you, sir. Mrs. Hammond, thank you for the tea and the cookies. I'm sorry.
You had no cause to act like that, Joe. No cause at all. You can't blame him for what happened.
I need somebody to blame.
It was you drove Roland away.
It's all coming back to me. We had 15 or 16 cats, a three-legged possum, and a little crow that couldn't fly.
Maggie Bigheart. Anything that was hurt or needed help or was broken.
Your brother home?
No.
Good.
Would you like some coffee? I've got downstairs kitchen privileges.
No, thank you.
That's a print.
Good one.
I bought it when I was in Chicago. I worked there a while. I tried fashion design, except it wasn't any good. Then I tried modeling and the long black stocking bit in the supper club. Then going from bad to worse, I even got married. Only lasted 3 months. Chicago's a cold, cold city. I didn't belong there. So I decided to come home and marry a rich farmer or something. Something happened. Now I don't belong here either. Well, that's my sad story. What's yours?
What makes you think I have one?
Take a look in the mirror.
I just got back from the Hammond house. I brought their boy back.
Want a drink?
I could use one.
Water?
No, thank you.
I remember coming home. Boy, I was really looking forward to it. It was really going to be something great. You know, I guess coming home is like, well, it's like putting on your old high school prom dress. seemed so lovely once. It fit so well. Now it seems awful on you. Seems like such a dirty trick.
Clary's a good town.
You can't go home, take it from me.
You came back, didn't you?
I ran back. That's different. You really got bruised this morning.
I got stomped on. Worse, I don't know what to do about it.
So you came here.
Aid and comfort.
What?
It's my assignment here. I could use a little myself.
Eureka. An honest man.
Ben, I've got about 1,800 things here that
Oh,
I've been...
you remember my son, don't you, Bill?
Yeah, sure.
Ralph Fisher.
How are you, Bill? Welcome home.
Thank you.
Ben, listen, I've had about 15 calls from Congressman Finch about that editorial last week. He thinks that...
Congressman Finch doesn't think. Congressman Finch merely rearranges his prejudices.
Ben, listen.
I'll take care of it. Just give me a chance to go over this stuff, and I'll be with you in a little while.
Oh, nice to see you again, Mr. Fisher.
What would you do without me, huh? How would you like to run a newspaper?
You could always sell it.
Yes, I suppose I could.
Hey, you're not serious.
Sit down, Bill.
What's this all about?
I'd like you to stay and help me with the paper.
Dad, I can't do that. I have to go back to Camp Pendleton right after the funeral.
I didn't mean on a temporary basis. The Independent's going to belong to you someday.
Dad, look.
I'd like to think you'd be able to run it.
You're asking me to leave the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Just give up my...
What exactly is it that you've been giving up?
My whole career.
You're only 24 years old. You've hardly started your life yet, let alone your career.
Dad, I've spent 5 years...
I'll tell you what you'd be giving up. You'd be giving up the security of collectivism for the insecurity of individualism, and you couldn't find a better trade than that. Look, all you're doing in the Marine Corps is carrying out policies dictated by somebody else's truths. Here, you might be able to find out your own.
I'm trying to protect those truths you're always talking about.
Look, I have lived through 3 wars. 20 million human beings slaughtered. That doesn't speak very well for your system of protection, does it?
Oh, Dad, we've gone through this 100 times before.
Violence breeds violence.
And so does weakness. Dad, the government sent me through Annapolis. They paid for my education. They paid for my training at Quantico. They've got a big investment in me. Now, if for no other reason I can't run out on them now, I at least owe them that much.
By that, do you mean that you owe your country something?
Yes?
I agree. But don't you think that you might be able to discharge that debt better right here? Trying to influence your country's people towards peace, rather than training its young for war? Tell me, what can Roland Hammond do for his country now? I know all this may sound pretty selfish. I suppose every man likes to flatter himself that his son might want to follow in his footsteps. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe I am selfish. But I don't want you to evaluate it that way. Don't do this for me. Do it for yourself. And I'm not asking you to make up your mind right now. But see some of your old friends while you're here, will you? Some of them are doing very well. It's a good life here, Bill. And you belong in it.
Fight, fight, fight for Jefferson Heights. Win the victory. Win the fight for crimson and white. But in the state we know you'll always be great. So on, fight to the end. Honor and glory leave us where. Fight, fight, fight for Jefferson High and victory.
Bill, speaking of victories, do you remember that great pass you made in the homecoming game?
It was a long time ago.
I hear you saw Maggie Shea. Maggie ought to know better than stay at the Tyson place. That old lady sees everything.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing. Maggie's quite a girl, that's all.
Peaches and cream. Peaches and cream. We are the boys of the Jefferson team. We're not too rough and rubber, we're not too tough.
Straight.
See, we're determined.
You remember the day in Doc Small's chemistry lab when we hooked up the water hose to the gas jet?
Oh, I know, Doc. He says, turn on the Bunsen burner. Nothing but water.
You thought somebody turned on a sprinkling system.
That's very funny. My boy went to Jefferson High, too.
Knock it off, Ed.
Only he don't laugh anymore. He's dead.
Mr. Hammond's the father of the Marine I told you about.
When I got blown up on his grenade range.
Here, why don't you have a beer?
It wasn't my grenade range, Mr. Hammond. It wasn't my fault.
Well, whose fault was it then? Hmm? It's the United States Marine Corps, Lieutenant. Matter, don't you want to drink to that? Just think my boy would have liked that, Lieutenant.
Listen, Mr. Hammond.
You listen. I'm going to find out whose fault it is, this accident. I'm going to find out why the United States Marine Corps thinks they can just take my boy.
Nobody just took your boy, Mr. Hammond. He wasn't drafted. Nobody twisted his arm. He joined the Marine Corps. He enlisted. Know why? Your son wasn't the only one killed in that accident, Mr. Hammond. Another Marine lost his leg. One is blind because of it. And you want somebody to blame. All right, I'll give you somebody to blame. You want to know whose fault it was? I'll tell you. One of the men in that company, a man who never did have any respect for orders or discipline or courtesy or safety. He threw a grenade box into a fire, but he didn't even check to see if it was empty. He just threw it into the fire. You want to know who that man was? You want to know his name? It was Private Roland Hammond.
Joe?
I'm sorry, Elsie.
Where have you been? You've been out drinking all night.
Part of it.
It isn't enough that our son is dead. That we're going to bury him this afternoon. You have to.
Elsie, please.
Joe, what is it?
Please love me. Just love me, please.
Joe. Oh, Joe.
Did you give me a hand, sir?
Yes, sure.
Now, the local reserves will handle the funeral details. They should be all right, but I'm not sure about the bugler. Taps is a difficult call.
Yes, may I help you?
Mr. Coolidge?
Oh, good morning, Mr. Hammond. I didn't expect you this early.
I came to see the lieutenant. They told me I could find you here.
If you gentlemen excuse me, I have some things to do.
I'm sorry about last night.
I'm sorry, too. I shouldn't have said that.
No. You said what you had to. I just wanted you to know. No hard feelings.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Guess we all look for someone to blame. A thing like this happens. I guess I just didn't want to look in the right place. Funny how much we want from a son. How hard we try. 9 times out of 10, you get just the exact opposite what you wanted from him. We tried too hard, pushed too much. I wanted him to be a farmer. Boy's still only what you make him, though. Whatever he does. Oh, one thing. Is there any reason Mrs. Hammond has to know what you told me last night?
No, sir. No reason at all.
Thank you.
feel better.
Well, I can't tell whether I'm getting used to it or gotten numb.
You want to go for a drive?
I can't right now.
Tonight?
Maggie, I really should spend the evening with my father.
How about tomorrow?
To be perfectly honest, I haven't decided which train I'm taking out yet.
Why don't you stay a while? Maybe I was wrong yesterday. Coming home isn't so bad. Well, it wouldn't be if you had someone you could understand. Someone who had changed along with you. If you had someone, you wouldn't be a stranger then.
Bill, you wanted on the telephone.
Thank you, Mr. Coolidge. Maggie, I'll call you.
That's all right. I'm glad I was here.
It is important. Something's wrong at home.
Thank you.
He collapsed on his way to the office. They took him to the hospital in an ambulance.
Okay, thank you.
He had the first attack about 6 months ago.
Why wasn't I told about it?
He didn't want you to know.
Is he going to be all right?
I think so, if he takes it easy. But his heart's been severely damaged. If he has another attack, it'll probably be his last. Here we are. Now, you can only stay for a minute. He's still very weak.
Thank you, Doctor. Dad? How do you feel?
Well, didn't they tell you?
They told me.
Bill, I realize it's probably taking an unfair advantage of you to ask for your decision now. Time like this, then I guess you can understand that it might be a time problem. What we were talking about yesterday, about your staying here in Clary. Have you thought about it?
Yes, sir, I have.
You seen any of your old friends?
Yes.
Did you?
Dad, the only thing I have in common with him anymore is the words to the Jefferson High fight song. The only person who means anything to me here is you. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Maybe in a better world there wouldn't be any need for Marine Corps. But in a better world, a different one than we live in a better society, there wouldn't be any need for policemen either. And until then, someone has to be the cop on the beat.
You know, it wouldn't have been so difficult for you to have told a comforting lie to a man who may not be around here much longer.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry.
be just what you are. You're strong, Bill. I'd like to think maybe you got some of that strength from me. In the end, maybe that's all I got to give you.
No.
I'm proud of you, Bill. You obey your conscience. That's the root of true courage. And don't give me up. A man who feels as proud as I do right now. You can't kill me off so easy. At ease, soldier. At ease.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Ready, aim, squad, fire. Ready, aim, squad, fire. Ready, aim, squad, fire.